The mighty atom is ready for the mission, because when I shrink, I still have the strength of a full-grown man.
So, can you lift this couch?
Yes. If someone got the other side, then it would just depend on the handholds. But I can also do this. Have you ever seen a tiny man lift an entire bag of potato chips?
Just like starting over was from the September 1988 cover dated Power of the Atom number 2 by Roger Stern, Dwayne Turner, and K.S. Wilson. We all agree that Ray Palmer would have hated John Lennon, right? I figure Ray's one of those, I'm not into music people, or maybe a jazz guy like Julie Schwartz. Anyway, the CIA is put out by how the vast majority of information they have on Palmer came from his biography, and how those Justice League guys are really good about hiding their identities. Meanwhile, 3-foot Ray got checked out by family doctor Alvin Jeffries, who gives him a half-size bill of health, accepting the shrinkage. Ray had a lens sizer that he developed with the Hawk secreted in a wall, but it didn't work in his current predicament. With a bit of time to kill, Ray perused Norman Brawler's leftover magazines to catch up with the times. He was surprised to learn about the Legends event, where a demagogue temporarily turned the population against their superheroes. Also, the Hawks' identity had been publicly exposed, but their whole existence would be retconned soon, so no big loss there. The next day, Ray and Norm visited Ivy University to meet with the newly named Associate Professor of Physics, Dr. Enrica Negrini. She had once been Ray's lab assistant and the envy of all the ladies on campus, but Ray only had eyes for Jean. Ricky ran some tests and determined that Ray's body had been impregnated with white dwarf matter and the remains of his old costume. Ray stayed in Negrini's lab alone overnight to work on his problem and determined that he could use intense bioelectric activity on his brain's frontal lobe via an encephalo-cybernetic web in a revised costume to merge with his old one and regain his lost mass. It's weird that they would specifically reference a method that would require that Ray wear a skull cap mask when his new costume for the series would air out his top. The other ill-considered alteration to his classic suit was explained by Norm messing up the dye pigments, and Ray not caring if it was pink and green so long as it fixed his powers. Part of what made the Silver Age Atom suit so great was that he was the rare hero who wore full pants, and that the points on it indicated forward motion for an always acrobatic character. The new suit emphasized his crotch and panties that now seemed to point all the way up his chest. Seriously, the worst thing about this book forever shaking DC's faith in the Ray Palmer Atom as a solo character is that the best thing about the entire property is the costume, and they haven't stopped messing it up for a 4th straight decade and counting. The revised suit worked in restoring Ray's height, but he immediately passed out from being up for something like 36 hours straight to get it done. Ricky volunteers to sit watch over this handsome man while he slept, until he was roused by an alarm. Kwaraki terrorists had taken hostages in the library, and the campus was being evacuated. The Atom reflexively went straight there, and because these are swarthy Middle Eastern types, he tries to manipulate them by pretending to be Allah and a genie. In that order, but interchangeably. It doesn't work on all the terrorists, but it does on some, so go ahead and shake your head at the Bill Maher of it all. At least the Tiny Titan managed a decisive victory against numerous men with submachine guns, even if this is the second issue of the Mighty Might fighting plain dudes. And then it turns out the CIA had tipped off the terrorists that Amir Lashkari, nephew of the late president of Korak, had been pursuing a graduate degree at IVU for 2 years under an assumed name. The spooks had endangered all those lives solely to draw the Atom out of hiding and test his abilities. I mean, what are the CIA even doing operating in the United States? And seriously, why wouldn't the CIA have our best interests at heart? What a shocking turn of events. Later, to help sell the duds, we learned the new costume will remain visible at full height, can disappear or reappear at will, and the Atom's neurological connection to the costume makes his powers more responsive than ever. He'll need it, since the Amir respected the Atom's request for discretion regarding his rescue, but the CIA leaked Atom's return to the media to put pressure on the hero.
Ray Palmer is only trying to help your people.
Natural attrition means that the pals of the Atom list is much shorter this time. It includes Canoes, who said, "Let's go," Chris Dunford, Chris Lydon, Collected Edition, Dave's Comic Heroes blog, Doc Strange, L at Pan Lives, Green Lantern HG I'll Be the Light in the Dark, I Was Joe Crawford, Jeffrey Brown They Them, Keith G. Baker, King Size Comics Giant Size Fun Podcast, Prairie Justice, a Greg Saunders Vigilante Podcast, Reverend Odell Abner Dracula, and Tim Price the Podcrasher. The preceding Atom-related program is a non-profit fan production. Any copyrighted materials contained therein are believed borrowed under fair use with no copyright infringement intended. Please feel free to leave comments either on the Power of the Atom blog or at Rolled Spines Productions WordPress blog. You can also send us Twitter comments through Commander Blanks, my personal account, or through the Rolled Spine Podcast Twitter. Thank you for listening.